say with any certainty because we don't know what the actual assessed valuation is going to do, whether or not there will be a need to utilize AB 182 compliant caps. To just put some clarity on AB 182 compliant caps, that's an assembly bill that was rolled out for those of you who are unfamiliar, which puts school districts have parameters on the use of capital appreciation bonds. The interest that's paid out on capital appreciation bonds is different than current interest bonds. You don't pay interest on the outstanding principal year in and year out as on a current interest bond. With a capital appreciation bond, it accretes in time, and there's a single payment, and so that interest accretes in value. They can generate a higher cost of borrowing to the extent they're used on the long term.
Like a balloon payment.
Like a balloon payment. And so Assembly Bill 182 put parameters on the use of those types of bonds. And I will also just highlight the fact that school districts and community college districts in the state are the only ones that were put into the scenario where they're faced with certain restrictions on the use of those types of bonds.
So 2015 is around the corner. So is this why on the next slide with the schedule, decisions are being made by mid-November on whether you would indeed use the alternative or go forth with existing conditions?
Yes, yeah, and I'll cover that schedule in just a few moments.
Well, I wanted to see the whole report before we have comments. That's fine.
Should I continue? Lastly, we wanted to cover the issuance schedule for the planned 2015 sale, highlighting the process of where we're at. Last week, documents were brought as informational item to the board, which included a resolution, a bond purchase agreement, and a preliminary official statement. Those items were brought for informational purposes only last week. We'll be going back to the board on November 12th to allow the board to make a decision on approving those documents and allowing the sale of bonds to move forward. Our plan is, assuming that the board makes a decision to move forward, we would be meeting with rating agencies in mid-January to provide them an update of the sale of these particular bonds, allow them, as we do for every series of bonds issued, to provide a rating associated with the district and the bond sale. Following that rating process, we would come back to the board with an updated preliminary official statement in order to provide some new information that had become available from November. That would include the governor's budget, among some other items. Once the updated preliminary official statement is approved, we would post the preliminary official statement, allowing investors and underwriters accessibility to it, and the investor outreach process starts from there. We try to put a heavy effort into that investor outreach process to make sure there's a fair amount of education involved before we actually price the bonds. We would look to price towards the end of February or the very first part of March and close March 11th, and that's when the proceeds become available